Hey guys, welcome to our vlog. This vlog is all about vlog. This vlog is all about when to plan for 2020.
Oh yeah, your next race season.
Yeah, because unless you're a pro and you're going to Kona,
Race season's pretty much
race season
done.
in this country is done, and the weather is pants. So triathlon race season is done.
Yeah.
Duathlons, cross country, there's loads of stuff happening, but we're just talking about
specifically about
planning for triathlons, right? So, in my mind, there's two types of people. There's people A, who don't really think about what they're doing and they scattergun stuff, so they wait until they've been to the tri show and they buy loads of cool stuff, and then they get to April and they think, wow, yeah, I'm going to go and do that one, now I'm going to do that one, now I'm going to do that one. No, there's no problem with that. There's not a structure to that at all. So you just literally book it up and you might have 3 triathlons in 3 weeks. Because it's not planned out, is it? It's like, oh, yeah, I booked that ages ago, I forgot I booked that. Oh, I booked a half marathon and that's 2 weeks before then, I'm not really sure. So there's no problem with not being organised and not planning in advance. However, it's not the best, and it's really, really hard to get some sort of structure together.
But also that sort of thing, you can't really structure training and kind of planning like that and racing in that way. Let's be honest, you're kind of almost asking for injuries. You know, if you can't incorporate races into training and train adequately, you know, it's kind of you're risking doing some damage. So we don't like that kind of approach.
So people B are people hopefully like us and hopefully like our athletes that we coach.
Yeah. So
we're looking already at next year and we're saying, well, actually, let's use us as an example. Yeah. So taking me out of the equation because I'm not really race fit yet. I've got one race next year, which is what I'm targeting.
Yeah.
So that's a sprint triathlon in August. Now I know that August seems a long way away, but I'm old and so I was in hospital last week, so I had to go back, blah blah blah, all kind. What did you just hit me for?
Sorry, I accidentally went to grab my leg and
you hit me. I hope you heard that. You might not have seen it because it happened off camera, but that is what purpose. Loren did.
Anyway,
yeah, I'm hitting you back. I slipped. Okay, so I've got a sprint try. Next year is my A race. What have you got next year as your A race?
So my A race next year will be Leeds Triathlon, which is in June.
Okay, so already we're thinking these are our targets. What will you need to do to achieve that? So work it backwards. So the best thing to do, we should have had a sheet printed out so we could show people. But basically, plan out the year, so January to December next year, get a timeline, right, plot your A race, so if your A race is Leeds, whack it in the month that it's in, right, if it's mine's in August, so I'll put mine in August. Now what should happen is, as a sensible athlete that's structuring training well, you think, how is it best to train for that event at that time? So work backwards. So if you're training for an Olympic triathlon, you know that you're probably going to want a couple of sprint triathlons a few months before in the build-up. So if we're saying June for Leeds, possibly one in April and one in May, to give you enough time to train in between, enough time to recover before your A race. So then what you do is you think, right, let's have a look at some sprint triathlons that are in April and May, and let's get them put on the plan. Now, if you're working over the winter on something that is a weakness, so if you want to improve your run massively, you know, look back at this year, what went well, so what do you need to maintain and what do you need to improve? So, Loren, what do you need to improve for next season?
My run.
Okay, running. So we're thinking, all right, we need to improve the running. The run at Leeds is 10 kilometres.
Yeah.
So do we need to be doing half marathons
Nope.
in preparation
Do I want
for
to
it?
be doing half marathons
Probably
either? Nope.
not. Do we need to be doing marathons in preparation for your A race
Definitely
next year? No. Would some 5k and 10k races be good preparation?
I reckon so, yeah.
Yeah. So, do we want to be racing 4 weeks to go before Leeds? Maybe. Do you want to be racing
Wouldn't want
10k before it?
As in 4 weeks before?
Yeah.
Maybe.
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 So, then you start thinking, alright, what do I and don't I want to be doing? You definitely don't want to be doing a half marathon.
No.
Let's be honest, your A race is at Olympics, so why would you do that?
Yeah.
So straight away, you think about all the people that are doing Olympic triathlons as their A race next year. How many of those people have gone for the London ballot? Probably all of them. I mean, we're in it. I can't even
We're
run.
probably not going to get in it.
I can't even run a bath without getting injured at the moment, and I'm in the ballot.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's the point. It's, you know, it's not a marathon. It's going to tire your legs out. The training that if you want to be able to get around a marathon uninjured and to do it safely and be able to recover, you're going to have to be training for marathons, which means that all your triathlon training, your shorter speed stuff, although you still need to incorporate speed work when you're running for the marathon, it's still going to help, but you're going to neglect a lot of that to focus on your marathon. So all of a sudden, if I think it's the end of April, you might need a week to recover, then you're looking at early May, middle of May, and all of a sudden you've done no Olympic distance training. So I think we see it all the time with our athletes. They do too much stuff which isn't relevant to the distance that they're running, and race day doesn't then go well.
So this is the point we're trying to make. When do you start thinking about next year? I'd say start thinking about it now. Think about what's important to you, and then start planning accordingly.
Yeah.
If you're running a marathon in April, do you think an A race of an Olympic triathlon in June is smart? I don't think it is.
No.
So then what you're asked with is, okay, well if I want to run a marathon, then I need to extend it. So now I need to be targeting an A race in September or October. So it's the end of the tri season. You can concentrate on marathon training over the winter, work on strength, bike, running, swimming. Give yourself recovery time and then focus. The problem is when people get too many A races too close together, it's so hard to train for that.
Yeah.
So this is why planning is crucial. So you can be someone that is like a magpie. Oh, shiny race. I want to enter that. I'm going to do that.
And I think, it's, a lot of people think, so there's a local sprint race to us, which I've been saying for a few years now that I'd love to do.
Yep.
But the last few years it's either fallen on Leeds weekend, which so I wouldn't do it anyway, or the weekend before.
Yep.
I know I'm not the sort of person that even if I said I'll take it easy, I know I'd get out there and say, you know what, I'm not taking this easy. I'm racing this, and then the race that means most to me the following week, I'd then be disappointed because I hadn't got the result I wanted. So
and yes, you've got medals and
you've
you've got experience, but potentially you're not going to get your time, not going to perform at your best.
Yeah.
So this is why it's critical now to think what's important next year. And if it isn't triathlons, if it is I want to run a marathon and I'll just do a few sprint triathlons, and that's fine, but make a marathon your A race and don't try to do everything.
I know it's difficult when some races aren't yet released. So again, there's a local sprint triathlon which is normally around May time, which I probably will do in the build up, but again, if it's the weekend before Leeds, I'm not going to be doing that, and I'm going to be looking for another one. So if there are race dates released for ones which you think will fit in well, book them up. I appreciate some places won't have entries open or even a date released yet, but you'll know roughly when the dates are. They don't tend to differ too much year on year. So you should know roughly what races would be a good fit for you and start planning accordingly.
Yeah, so get a year planner, start thinking about your air races now, and then be sensible about what to book when. That's the point of this today,
key point of this video.
Yeah. So hopefully that's just made you think a little bit. it might not have done. You might be a magpie triathlete and do everything because
Enter everything.
yeah, you want the medals.
Yeah. I think runners are the worst for that.
Yeah,
runners are definitely the worst for that.
Club runners especially. Yeah, too many outside influences saying, "Come on, come do this race, come do that race." It's hard. It's tough to do it. It's tough to be disciplined. But the athletes that stick to a plan always do better. And how long should your plan be? A year at least. You know, get an idea.
How long is a piece of
start
string?
to plan your training. You know, you want 4-week blocks of training. So is running a race every week for a couple of months, is that the best way to go? Not for us. You know, pick a race and train to it properly and do yourself justice. So there, done. Hope you enjoyed it.
Hope so.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Feel free to share it around and get planning, people.